of your grief, but you'll always follow the voices beneath. Guileless son, your spirit will hate her, the flower who married my brother, the traitor, and you will expose his puppet behavior, for you are the proof of how we betrayed her loyalty. Hush, child, the darkness will rise from the deep and carry you down to sleep. Child, the darkness will rise from the deep and carry you down to sleep. Guileless son, each day you grow older, each moment I'm watching my vengeance unfold. The child of my body, the flesh of my soul will die in returning the birthright he stole. The darkness will rise from the deep and carry you down to sleep. Child, the darkness will rise from the deep and carry you down to
Good evening, hello again guys for our third time streaming today. Good to see you, glad you could make it for some fun here. We're gonna get to some Jurassic Park reading right away, then hopefully get 45 minutes of the Black Pits, maybe a little Siege of Dragonspear, probably not the prologue for that, get to that next time. But yeah, at least the Black Pits for original Baldur's Gate, then we shall move on to Baldur's Gate 3, brand new, great fun, good stuff. I do apologize for the 35% drop frames we're dealing with here right off the bat, but I have a few stuff going on in my house, the Wi-Fi, and downloading Back for Blood, trying to install that tonight. Got about 70% done tonight, but I have that for Horror Tuesday tomorrow. Overwatch Halloween event will need to update in the morning, and Back for Blood coming out tomorrow as well, so we'll be playing some of that, other Left 4 Dead, other times too. But we're looking good here for at least a bit of good reading. Jurassic Park, 45 minutes, Black Pits, probably, and then a solid hour of Baldur's Gate 3 for the night. So welcome in there. Glad you can make it Dragon Knight's fun gym streams today. Fun other captures from Hunt and Overwatch. So far, let's enjoy a good bit of Jurassic Park to begin here today. Glad you can make it tonight. We'll have some fun times, and for a full Horror Tuesday tomorrow, looking promising for a big variety of horror and other adventure, maybe continue a bit of Medieval Fantasy Monday that we didn't really get to today. I have a lot of captures to show today. I think I finally cleared those out, and man, let me tell you, after I deleted those, I literally had like 500 gigabytes clear up in my hard drive, so that was nice. Clear all those gameplay captures out. Alrighty, on to Jurassic Park. We left off here with our the girl waved tentatively. "Hi, Grandpa," she said. "We're here." The grandchildren of Hammond, of course, with the big cinematic rest of the characters. Alrighty, let us continue with a bit of that. We can find everything else, get where it needs to be, and as it should be, everyone who needs to be here, and a great time. So let us continue. Enjoy some fun stuff with this good Jurassic Park. Welcome to the Dragon's Roost. Alrighty. The tour. Tim Murphy could see at once that something was wrong. His grandfather was in the middle of an argument with the younger, red-faced man opposite him, and the other adults standing behind looked embarrassed and uncomfortable. Alexis felt the tension, too, because she hung back, tossing her baseball in the air. He had to push her. Go on, Lex. Go on yourself, Timmy. Don't be a worm, he said. Lex glared at him, but Ed Regis said cheerfully, I'll introduce you to everybody, and then we can take the tour. I have to go, Lex said. I'll just introduce you first, Ed Regis said. No, I have to go. But Ed Regis was already making introductions. First to Grandpa, who kissed them both, and then to the man he was arguing with. This man was muscular, and his name was Gennaro. The rest of the introductions were a blur to Tim. There was a blonde woman wearing shorts, and a man with a beard who wore jeans and a Hawaiian shirt. He looked like the outdoors type. Then a fat college kid who had something to do with computers, and finally a thin man in black, who didn't take hands, but just nodded his head. Tim was trying to organize his impressions and was looking at the blonde woman's legs, when he suddenly realized that he knew who the bearded man was. Your mouth is open, Lex said. Tim said, I know him. Oh, sure, you just met him. No, Tim said, I have his book. The bearded man said, What book is that, Tim? Lost World of the Dinosaurs, Tim said. Alexis snickered. Daddy says Tim has dinosaurs on the brain, she said. Tim hardly heard her. He was thinking of what he knew about Alan Grant. Alan Grant was one of the principal advocates of the theory that dinosaurs were warm-blooded. He had done lots of digging at the place called Egg Hill in Montana, which was famous because so many dinosaur eggs had been found there. Professor Grant had found most of the dinosaur eggs that had ever been discovered. He was also a good illustrator, and he knew the pictures for his own books. Dinosaurs on the brain, the bearded man said. Well, as a matter of fact, I have that same problem. Dad says dinosaurs are really stupid, Lex said. He says Tim should get out in the air and play more sports. Tim felt embarrassed. I thought you had to go, he said. In a minute, Lex said. I thought you were in such a rush. Well, I'm the one who would know. Don't you think, Timothy? She said, putting her hands on her hips, copying her mother's most irritating stance. Tell you what, Ed Regis said, why don't we all just head over to the visitor center, and we can begin our tour. Everybody started walking. Tim heard Gennaro whisper to his grandfather, I could kill you for this. And then Tim looked up and saw that Dr. Grant had fallen into step beside him. How old are you, Tim? 11. And how long have you been interested in dinosaurs? Grant asked. Tim swallowed. A while now, he said. He felt nervous to be talking to Dr. Grant. We go to museums sometimes, when I can talk my family into it. My father. Your father's not especially interested? Tim nodded and told Grant about his family's last trip to the Museum of Natural History. His father had looked at a skeleton and said, That's a big one. Alright, give me a second here. Wardrobe malfunction, as usual. Always a wardrobe malfunction on stage or the stage. Alright, there we go. All set. Just a minute. Okay. Tim had said, No, Dad, that's a medium-sized one. A Comptosaurus. Oh, I don't know. Looks pretty big to me. It's not even full-grown, Dad. His father squinted at the skeleton. What is it, Jurassic? Geez, no. Cretaceous. Cretaceous is older? No, Dad. Jurassic is older. Well, his father said, stepping back, It looks pretty damn big to me. And he turned to Tim for agreement. Tim knew he had better agree with his father, so he just muttered something, and they went on to another exhibit. Tim stood in front of one skeleton, a Tyrannosaurus Rex, the mightiest predator the Earth had ever known, for a long time. Finally, his father said, "What are you looking at?" "I'm counting the vertebrae," Tim said. "The vertebrae?" "In the backbone." "I know what vertebrae are," his father said, annoyed. He stood there a while longer, and then he said, "Why are you counting them?" "I think they're wrong. Tyrannosaurus should only have 37 vertebrae in the tail. This has more." "You mean to tell me," his father said, "that the Museum of Natural History has a skeleton that's wrong? I can't believe that." "It's wrong," Tim said. His father stomped off toward a guard in the corner. "What did you do now?" his mother said to Tim. "I didn't do anything," Tim said. "I just said the dinosaur is wrong, that's all." And then his father came back with a funny look on his face, because of course the guard told him that the Tyrannosaurus had too many vertebrae in the tail. "How'd you know that?" his father asked. "I read it," Tim said. "That's pretty amazing, son," he said, and he put his hand on his shoulder, giving it a squeeze. "You know how many vertebrae belong in the tail? I've never seen anything like it. You really do have dinosaurs on the brain." And then his father said he wanted to catch the last half of the Mets game on TV, and Lex said she did, too, so they left the museum. And Tim didn't see any other dinosaurs, which was why they had come there in the first place. But that was how things happened in his family. How things used to happen in his family, Tim corrected himself. Now that his father was getting a divorce from his mother, things would probably be different. His father had already moved out, and even thought it was weird at first. Tim liked it. He thought his mother had a boyfriend, but he couldn't be sure. And of course, he would never mention it to Lex. Lex was heartbroken to be separated from her father. And in the last few weeks, she had become so obnoxious that Was it 5027? Grant said. "I'm sorry?" Tim said. "The Tyrannosaurus at the museum. Was it 5027? "Yes," Tim said. "How'd you know?" Okay. Grant smiled. "They've been talking about fixing it for years, but now it may never happen." "Why is that?" "Because of what it's taking place here," Grant said, "on your grandfather's island." Tim shook his head. He didn't understand what Grant was talking about. "My mom said it was just a resort, you know, with a swimming and tennis." "Not exactly," Grant said. "I'll explain as we walk along." "Now I'm a damned babysitter," Ed Regis thought unhappily, tapping his foot as he waited in the visitor center. That was what the old man had told him. "You watch my kids like a hawk, they're your responsibility for the weekend." Ed Regis didn't like it at all. He felt degraded. He wasn't a damn babysitter. And for that matter, he wasn't a damn tour guide, even for VIPs. He was the head of public relations for Jurassic Park, and he had much to prepare between now and the opening, a year away. Just to coordinate with the PR firms in San Francisco and London, and the agencies in New York and Tokyo, was a full-time job, especially since the agencies couldn't yet be told what the resort's real attraction was. The firms were all designing teaser campaigns, nothing specific, and they were unhappy. Creative people needed nurturing. They need encouragement to do their best work. He couldn't waste his time taking scientists on tours. But that was the trouble. With a career in public relations, nobody saw you as a professional. Regis had been down here on the island off and on for the past 7 months, and they were still pushing odd jobs on him. Like that episode back in January. Harding should have handled that. Harding or Owens, the general contractor. Instead, it had fallen to Ed Regis. What did he know about taking care of some sick workmen? And now he was a damn tour guide and babysitter. He turned back and counted the heads. Still one short. Then in the back, he saw Dr. Sadler emerge from the bathroom. All right, folks, let's begin our tour on the second floor. Tim went with the others, following Mr. Regis up the black, suspended staircase to the second floor of the building. They passed a sign that read, Jurassic Park, closed area, authorized personnel only. Beyond this point. Tim felt a thrill when he saw that sign. They walked down the second floor hallway. One wall was glass, looking out onto a balcony with palm trees in the light mist. On the other wall were stenciled doors like offices. Park warden, guest services, general manager. Halfway down the corridor, they came to a glass partition marked with another sign. Biohazard caution, biological hazard. This laboratory conforms to USG P4/EK3 genetic protocols. You want to see it? That's what it looks like. Underneath were more signs. Caution, teratogenic substances, pregnant women avoid exposure to this area, danger, radioactive isotopes in use, carcinogenic potential. Tim grew more excited all the time. Teratogenic substances, things that made monsters. It gave him a thrill, and he was disappointed to hear Ed Regis say, "Never mind the signs, they're just up for illegal resources. I can assure you everything is perfectly safe." He led them through the door. There was a guard on the other side. Ed Regis turned to the group. "You may have noticed that we have a minimum of personnel on the island. We can run this resort with a total of 20 people. Of course, we'll have more when we have guests here, but at the moment, there's only 20. Here's our control room. The entire park is controlled from here." They paused before windows and peered into a darkened room that looked like a small version of Mission Control. There was a vertical glass see-through map of the park, and facing in a bank of glowing computer consoles. Some of the screens displayed data, but most of them showed video images from around the park. There were just 2 people inside, standing and talking. The man on the left is our chief engineer, John Arnold. Regis pointed to a thin man in a button-down short-sleeved shirt and tie, smoking a cigarette. And next to him, our park warden, Mr. Robert Muldoon, the famous white hunter from Nairobi. Muldoon was a burly man in khaki, sunglasses dangling from his shirt pocket. He glanced out at the group, gave a brief nod, and turned back to the computer screens. "I'm sure you want to see this room," Ed Regis said, "but first, let's see how we obtain dinosaur DNA." The sign on the door said extractions, and like all doors in the laboratory building, it opened with a security card. Ed Regis slipped the card into the slot, the light blinked, and the door opened. Inside, Tim saw a small room bathed in green light. 4 technicians in lab coats were peering into double-barreled stereo microscopes or looking at images on high-resolution video screens. The room was filled with yellow stones. The stones were in glass shelves and cardboard boxes, in large pull-out trays. Each stone was tagged and numbered in black ink. Regis introduced Henry Wu, a slender man in his 30s. "Dr. Wu is our chief geneticist. I'll let him explain what we do here." Henry Wu smiled. "At least I'll try," he said. "Genetics is a bit complicated, but you're probably wondering where our dinosaur DNA comes from." "It crossed my mind," Grant said. "As a matter of fact," Wu said, "there are 2 possible sources. Using the Loy antibody extraction technique, we can sometimes get DNA directly from dinosaur bones. What kind of a yield? Grant asked. Well, most solute protein is leached out during fossilization, but 20% of the proteins are still recoverable by grinding up the bones and using Loy's procedure. Dr. Loy himself has used it to obtain proteins from extinct Australian marsupials, as well as blood cells from ancient human remains. His technique is so refined it can work with a mere 50 nanogram of material. That's 50 billionths of a gram. And you've adapted his technique here? Grant asked. Only as a backup, Wu said. As you can imagine, a 20% yield is insufficient for our work. We need the entire dinosaur DNA strand in order to clone. And we get it here. He held up one of the yellow stones. From amber. The fossilized resin of prehistoric tree sap. Grant looked at Ellie, then at Malcolm. That's really quite clever, Malcolm said, nodding. I still don't understand, Grant admitted. Tree sap, Wu explained. Often flows over insects and traps them. The insects are then perfectly preserved within the fossil. One finds all kinds of insects in amber, including biting insects that have sucked blood from larger animals. Suck the blood, Grant replied. His mouth fell open. You mean suck the blood of dinosaurs? Hopefully, yes. And then the insects are preserved in amber. Grant shook his head. I'll be damned. That just might work. I assure you, it does work, Wu said. He moved to one of the microscopes, where a technician positioned a piece of amber containing a fly under the microscope. On the video monitor, they watched as he inserted a long needle through the amber into the thorax of the prehistoric fly. If this insect has any foreign blood cells, we may be able to extract them and obtain paleo-DNA, the DNA of an extinct creature. We don't know for sure, of course, until we extract whatever is in there, replicate it, and test it. That is what we have been doing for 5 years now. It has been a long, slow process, but it has paid off. Actually, dinosaur DNA is somewhat easier to extract by this process than mammalian DNA. Sorry. The reason is that mammalian red cells have no nuclei, and thus no DNA in their red cells. To clone a mammal, you must find the white cell, which is much rarer than red cells. But dinosaurs had nucleated red cells, as do modern birds. It is one of the many indicators we have that dinosaurs aren't really reptiles at all. They are big, leathery birds. Tim saw that Dr. Grant still looked skeptical, and Dennis Nedry, the messy fat man, appeared completely uninterested, as if he knew it all already. Nedry kept looking impatiently toward the next room. I see Mr. Nedry has spotted the next phase of our work, Wu said. How we identify the DNA we have extracted. For that, we use powerful computers. They went through sliding doors into a chilled room. There was a loud humming sound. 2 6-foot-tall round towers stood in the center of the room, and along the walls were rows of waist-high stainless steel boxes. This is our high-tech laundromat, Dr. Wu said. The boxes along the walls are all Hamaki Hood automated gene sequencers. They are being run at very high speed by the Cray XMP supercomputers, which are the towers in the center of the room. In essence, you are standing in the middle of an incredibly powerful genetics factory. There were several monitors, all running so fast it was hard to see what they were showing. Wu pushed a button and slowed one image. Gotta cut it on both pages. Little Gattaca DNA sequences. Gattaca. Yep, not gonna bother reading all that for obvious reasons. Here you see the actual structure of a small fragment of dinosaur DNA, Wu said. Notice the sequence is made up of 4 basic compounds: adenine, thymine, guanine, and cystosine. This amount of DNA probably contains instructions to make a single protein, say a hormone or an enzyme. The full DNA molecule contains 3 billion of these bases. If we looked at a screen like this one a second, for 8 hours a day, I'd still take more than 2 years to look at the entire DNA strand. It's that big. He pointed to the image. This is a typical example. Because you see the DNA has an error, down here in line 1201, much of the DNA we extracted is fragmented or incomplete. So the first thing we have to do is repair it, or rather, the computer has to. It'll cut the DNA using what are called restriction enzymes. The computer will select a variety of enzymes that might do the job. Here is the same section of DNA with the points of the restriction enzymes located. As you can see in line 1201, 2 enzymes will cut on other side of the damaged point. Ordinarily, we let the computers decide which to use. But we also need to know what base pairs we should insert to repair the injury. For that, we have to align various cut fragments, like so. Restriction enzyme sequence alignment. There. Yep, codes match, verified, finished. Now we are finding a fragment of DNA that overlaps the injury area and will tell us what is missing. And you can see we can find it and go ahead and make the repair. The dark bars you see are restriction fragments, small sections of dinosaur DNA, broken by enzymes and then analyzed. The computer is now recombining them by searching for overlapping sections of code. It's a little bit like putting a puzzle together. The computer can do it very rapidly. More Gattaca screens. And here is the revised DNA strand, repaired by the computer. The operation you've witnessed would have taken months in a conventional lab, but we can do it in seconds. Then are you working with the entire DNA strand? Grant asked. Oh no, Wu said. That's impossible. We've come a long way from the 60s, when it took a whole laboratory 4 years to decode a screen like this. Now the computers can do it in a couple of hours. But even so, the DNA molecule is too big. We look only at the sections of the strand that differ from animal to animal, or from the contemporary DNA. Only a few % of the nucleotides differ from one species to the next. That's what we analyze, and it's still a big job. Dennis Nedry yawned. He'd long ago concluded that InGen must be doing something like this. A couple of years earlier, when InGen had hired Nedry to design the part control systems, one of the initial design parameters called for data records with 3 by 10 by 9 fields. Nedry just assumed that was a mistake, and he called Palo Alto to verify it. But they had told him the spec was correct, 3 billion fields. Nedry had worked on a lot of large systems. He'd made a name for himself setting up worldwide telephone communications for multinational corporations. Often those systems had millions of records. He was used to that, but InGen wanted something so much larger. Puzzled, Nedry had gone to see Barney Fellows over at Symbolics near the MIT campus in Cambridge. What kind of a database has 3 billion records, Barney? A mistake, Barney said, laughing. They put in an extra 0 or 2. It's not a mistake. I checked. It's what they want. Well, that's crazy, Barney said. It's not workable. Even if you had the fastest processors and blindingly fast algorithms, a search would still take days, maybe weeks. Yeah, Nedry said. I know. Fortunately, I'm not being asked to do algorithms. I'm just being asked to reserve storage and memory for all the overall systems. But still, what could the database be for? Barney frowned. You operating under an ND? Yes, Nedry said. Most of his jobs required non-disclosure agreements. Can you tell me anything? It's a bioengineering firm. Bioengineering, Barney said. Well, there's the obvious, which is a DNA molecule. Oh, come on, Nedry said. Nobody could be analyzing a DNA molecule. He knew biologists were talking about the Human Genome Project, to analyze a complete human DNA strand, but that would take 10 years of coordinated effort, involving laboratories around the world. It was an enormous undertaking, as big as the Manhattan Project, which made the atomic bomb. This is a private company, Nedry said. With 3 billion records, Barney said. I don't know what else it could be. Maybe they're being optimistic designing their system. Very optimistic, Nedry said. Or maybe they're just analyzing DNA fragments, but they've got RAM-intensive algorithms. That made more sense. Certain databases' search technique ate up a lot of memory. You know who did their algorithms? No, Nedry said. This company is very secretive. Well, my guess is that they're doing something with DNA, Barney said. What's the system? Multi-XMP. Multi-XMP? You mean more than one Cray? Wow. Barney was frowning now, thinking that one over. Can you tell me anything else? Sorry, Nedry said. I can't. And he had gone back and designed the control systems. It had taken him and his programming team more than a year. It was especially difficult because the company wouldn't ever tell him what the subsystems were for. The instructions were simply, design a module for record keeping, or design a module for visual display. They gave him design parameters, but no details about use. He had been working in the dark, and now that the system was up and running, he wasn't surprised to learn there were bugs. What did they expect? And they'd ordered him down here in a panic, all hot and bothered about his bugs. It was annoying, Nedry thought. Nedry turned back to the group as Grant asked, and once the computer has analyzed the DNA, how do you know what animal it encodes? We have 2 procedures, Wu said. The first is a phylogenetic mapping. DNA evolves over time, like everything else in an organism, hands or feet or any other physical attribute. So we can take an unknown piece of DNA and determine roughly by computer where it fits in the evolutionary sequence. It's time-consuming, but it can be done. And the other way? Wu shrugged. Just grow it and find out what it is, he said. That's what we usually do. I'll show you how that's accomplished. Tim felt a growing impatience as the tour continued. He liked technical things, but even so, he was losing interest. They came to the next door, which was marked Fertilization. Dr. Wu unlocked the door with his security card, and they went inside. Tim saw still another room with technicians working at microscopes. In the back was a section entirely lit by blue ultraviolet light. Dr. Wu explained that their DNA work required the interruption of cellular mitosis at precise instants, and therefore they kept some of the most virulent poisons in the world. Helotoxins, colchinoids, beta-alkaloids, he said, pointing to a series of syringes set out under the UV light. Kill any living animal within a second or two. Tim would have liked to know more about the poisons, but Dr. Wu droned on about using unfertilized crocodile ova and replacing the DNA. And then Professor Grant asked some complicated questions. To one side of the room were big tanks marked Liquid N2, and there were big walk-in freezers with shelves of frozen embryos, each stored in a tiny silver foil wrapper. Lex was bored. Nedry was yawning, and even Dr. Sadler was losing interest. Tim was tired of looking at these complicated laboratories. He wanted to see the dinosaurs. The next room was labeled Hatchery. "It's a little warm and damp in here," Dr. Wu said. "We keep it at 99 degrees Fahrenheit and a relative humidity of 100%. We also run a higher O2 concentration. It's up to 33%. "Jurassic atmosphere," Grant said. "Yes, at least we presume so. If any of you feel faint, just tell me." Dr. Wu inserted his security card into the slot, and the outer door hissed open. "Just a reminder, don't touch anything in this room. Some of the eggs are permeable to skin oils. And watch your heads. The sensors are always moving." He opened the inner door to the nursery, and they went inside. Tim faced a vast open room, bathed in deep infrared light. The eggs lay on long tables, their pale outlines obscured by the hissing low mist that covered the tables. The eggs were all moving gently, rocking. "Reptile eggs contain large amounts of yolk but no water at all. The embryos must extract water from the surrounding environment, hence the mist." Dr. Wu explained that each table contained 150 eggs and represented a new batch of DNA extractions. The batches were identified by numbers at each table: Steg 458/2 or Trick 390/4. Waist deep in the mist, the workers in the nursery moved from one egg to the next, plunging their hands into the mist, turning the eggs every hour, and checking the temperatures with thermal sensors. The room was monitored by overhead TV cameras and motion sensors. An overhead thermal sensor moved from one egg to the next, touching each with a flexible wand, beeping, then going on. "In this hatchery, we have produced more than a dozen crops of extractions, giving us a total of 238 live animals. Our survival rate is somewhere around 0.4%, and we naturally want to improve that. But by computer analysis, we're working with something like 500 variables, 120 environmental, another 200 intra-egg, and the rest from the genetic material itself. Our eggs are plastic. The embryos are mechanically inserted and then hatched here." "And how long to grow?" "Dinosaurs mature rapidly, attaining full size in 2 to 4 years. So we now have a number of adult specimens in the park." "What do the numbers mean?" "Those codes," Wu said, "identify the various batch extractions of DNA. The first 4 letters identify the animals being grown. Over there, that trick means Triceratops, and the steg means Stegosaurus, and so on." "And this table here?" Grant said. The code said 4x01/1. Beneath was scrawled, "Presumed Kolu." Yeah, Kolu. "That's a new batch of DNA," Wu said. "We don't know exactly what will grow out. The first time an extraction is done, we don't know for sure what the animal is. You can see it's marked, presumed Kolu, so it's likely to be a Coleosaurus, a small herbivore, if I remember. It's hard for me to keep track of the names. There are something like 300 genera of dinosaurs known so far." 347, Tim said. Grant smiled, then said, "Is anything hatching now?" "Not at the moment. The incubation period varies with each animal, but in general it runs about 2 months. We try to stagger hatchlings to make it less work for the nursery staff. You can imagine how it is when we have 150 animals born within a few days, though of course most don't survive. Actually, these X's are due any day now. Any other questions? No? Then we'll go to the nursery. where the newborns are. It was a circular room, all white. There were some incubators of the kind used in hospital nurseries, but they were empty at the moment. Rags and toys were scattered across the floor. A young woman in a white coat was seated on the floor, her back to them. "What have you got here today, Kathy?" Dr. Wu asked. "Not much," she said. "Just a baby raptor." "Let's have a look." The woman got to her feet and stepped aside. Tim heard Nedry say, "It looks like a lizard." The animal on the floor was about 1.5 feet long, the size of a small monkey. It was dark yellow with brown stripes, like a tiger. It had a lizard's head and long snout, but it stood upright on some strong hind legs, balanced by a thick, straight tail. Its smaller front legs waved in the air. It cocked its head to one side and peered at the visitors, staring down at it. "Velociraptor," Alan Grant said in a low voice. "Velociraptor mongolensis," Wu said, nodding. "A predator. This one's only 6 weeks old." "I just excavated a raptor," Grant said, as he bent down for a closer look. Immediately the lizard sprang up, leaping over Grant's head into Tim's arms. "Hey!" "They can jump," Wu said. "The babies can jump. So can the adults, as a matter of fact." Tim caught the velociraptor and held it to him. The little animal didn't weigh very much, a pound or two. The skin was warm and completely dry. The little head was inches from Tim's face. Its dark, beady eyes stared at him. A small, forked tongue flicked in and out. "Will he hurt me?" "No, she's friendly." "Are you sure about that?" asked Gennaro, with a look of concern. "Oh, quite sure," Wu said. "At least until she grows a little older. But in any case, the babies don't have any teeth, even egg teeth." "Egg teeth?" Nedry said. "Most dinosaurs are born with egg teeth, little horns on the tip of the nose, like rhino horns, to help them break out of the eggs. But raptors aren't. They poke a hole in the eggs with their pointed snouts, and then the nursery staff has to help them out." "You have to help them out," Grant said, shaking his head. "What happens in the wild?" "In the wild?" "When they breed in the wild," Grant said. "When they make a nest." "Oh, they can't do that," Wu said. "None of our animals is capable of breeding. That's why we have this nursery. It's the only way to replace stock in Jurassic Park." "Why can't the animals breed?" "Well, as you can imagine, it's important that they not be able to breed," Wu said. "And whenever we faced a critical matter such as this, we designed redundant systems. That is, we always arranged at least 2 control procedures. In this case, there are 2 independent reasons why the animals can't breed. First of all, they're sterile, because we irradiate them with X-rays. And the second reason? All the animals in Jurassic Park are female," Wu said with a pleased smile. Malcolm said, "I should like some clarification about this, because it seems to me that irradiation is fraught with uncertainty. The radiation dose may be wrong, or aimed at the wrong anatomical area of the animal." "All true," Wu said, "but we're quite confident we have destroyed gonadal tissue." "And as for them all being female," Malcolm said, "is that checked? Does anyone go out and lift up the dinosaur's skirts to have a look? I mean, how does one determine the sex of a dinosaur, anyway?" "Sex organs vary with the species. It's easy to tell on some, subtle on others. But to answer your question, the reason we know all the animals are female is that we literally make them that way. We control their chromosomes, and we control the intra-egg developmental environment. From a bioengineering standpoint, females are easier to breed. You probably know that all vertebrate embryos are inherently female. We all start life as females. It takes some kind of added effect, such as a hormone at the right moment during development, to transform the growing embryo into a male. But left to its own devices, the embryo will naturally become female. So our animals are all female. We tend to refer to some of them as male, such as the Tyrannosaurus rex. We all call it a him, but in fact they're all female. And believe me, they can't breed. The little velociraptor sniffed at Tim and then rubbed her head against Tim's neck. Tim giggled. She wants you to feed her, Wu said. What does she eat? Mice. But she's just eaten, so she won't feed her again for a while. The little raptor leaned back, stared at Tim, and wiggled her forearms again in the air. Tim saw the small claws on the 3 fingers of each hand. Then the raptor burrowed her head against his neck again. Grant came over and peered critically at the creature. He touched the tiny 3-clawed hand. He said to Tim, "Do you mind?" And Tim released the raptor into his hands. Grant flipped the animal onto its back, inspecting it, while the little lizards wiggled and squirmed. Then he lifted the animal high to look at its profile, and it screamed shrilly. She doesn't like that, Regis said. Doesn't like to be held away from body contact. The raptor was still screaming, but Grant paid no attention. Now he is squeezing the tail, feeling the bone. Regis said, Dr. Grant, if you please. I'm not hurting her. Dr. Grant, these creatures are one of our world. They come from a time when there were no human beings around to prod and poke them. I'm not prodding, and Dr. Grant, put her down, Ed Regis said. But now! Regis was starting to get annoyed. Grant handed the animal back to Tim. It stopped squealing. Tim could feel its little heart beating rapidly against his chest. I'm sorry, Dr. Grant, Regis said, but these animals are delicate in infancy. We have lost several from a post-stantial stress syndrome, which we believe is cortially medicated. Sometimes they die within 5 minutes. Tim petted the little raptor. It's okay, kid, he said. Everything's fine now. The heart was still beating rapidly. We feel it's important that the animals here be treated in the most humane manner, Regis said. I promise you that you will have every opportunity to examine them later. But Grant couldn't stay away. He again moved toward the animal in Tim's arms, peering at it. The little velociraptor opened her jaws and hissed at Grant, in a posture of sudden, intense fury. Fascinating, Grant said. Can I stay and play with her? Tim said. Not right now, Ed Regis said, glancing at his watch. It's 3 o'clock, and it's a good time for a tour of the park itself, so you can see all the dinosaurs in the habitats we have designed for them. Tim released the velociraptor, which scampered across the room, grabbed a cloth rag, put it in her mouth, and tugged at the end with her tiny claws. On to chapter control for Wednesday's stream, guys. Pretty long chapter there, so we'll only have about half an hour for Black Pits, half an hour for the introduction of Baldur's Gate 3, but should be good enough for now. I kept it on Baldur's Gate. I think that's harmless enough to the introduction stream, even though it's been almost an hour already, because I figured, that's fine. If we switch to just chatting later on, that's fine, but it does show the whole stream being just chatting if we begin the stream with that. So I'd rather focus it to our first main subject, first main game, first main activity of the night, past the little rating introduction that we do every stream for the main show. Alrighty, it is on to the Black Pits for now, guys. Looking set. Hope you enjoy that nice big chapter, Jurassic Park. Let us carry on. All looking fine. Hope you're doing well out there. JH, Babalu, anyone else maybe lurking, Favelot. Let's give a shout out right now. We have our new shout out system. Want to give a shout out to Favelot, our greatest dragon champion of the stream so far, our first 500 hours. And thank you for the resubs and all, Favelot. Let's give him a little shout out, test it out, first time actually live on stream. Here's to Sir Favelot. Thank you for being a true dragon champion. If you're out here lurking tonight or later on, you'll hopefully see this at some point. Thank you, Favelot. This one's for you.
Say Anything is a banger fucking band. If you haven't heard them, listen to them. It's a Real Boy was like their first big EP that they put
There
out.
he is.
And has a bunch of fucking sexy ass songs.
My Sunless Sea compatriot.
I know another one from them. But anyways, Alive with the Glory of Love is actually about his grandparents. Max Beam is the lead singer, and his grandparents back in
From last time.
like during World War II.
Huh. Interesting. Tell him about some music there, some good history, family history of the singer, I guess. Yeah, pretty cool. Alrighty. Thank you to Favelots. Shout out from there. We are on to Baldur's Gate. Great stuff tonight, guys. The best. Yeah, the frame drop did calm down a little bit during the reading there, so that is good news.
Only weeks ago,
Should be fine.
the malevolent Sarafat brought the city of Baldur's Gate to the edge of destruction.
On to our black pits.
Come on! Come on! Feast your eyes upon the most marvelous martial magnificence that the Underdark has to offer. Bela!
Yes, we get you Baloth. He's always in the party anyway, so. Alright, we got our quick save here. Should be the most recent. Oh yeah, main character, Imaloth, stuck in the freaking
What such menial task?
vendor trays here. I really hope that doesn't break it towards the end, because I'd rather not backtrack, but we'll do what we have to. She's literally stuck in the booth somehow. I don't know how that happened. So we won't be able to give her any more items unless other characters buy it for her. So let's spend this 4,000 gold right now, though. We really might as well.
What? A
And
simple
her
matter.
sister in arms, Ashia, can give her any needed gear, I guess. Kind of silly stuck there. Yeah, we'll get a solid half hour of this, hopefully do a couple rounds as we reach the end of Black Pits. At least it feels that way. We're already reaching the end. We already fought one party here. We have the next party there. Then just the Beholder there. So those are kind of the main champions that we're facing against. But let's see. Do we have any enchanted bows or something? Yeah, composite longbow. She uses short bow, so unless we have a magic one of that. Wonder why the composite longbow +1 is the most expensive, but it's not. Oh yeah, short bow +1. That'll work. Get rid of that. Regular short bow. And Mari uses a crossbow, so that works pretty good. Absolutely. There we go. Short bow, replace that. Still has enough arrows for now. A little extra magic arrows for that. I'd rather not spend all the money on one character until we know for sure, you know, it's set. But Imloth not needing too many other upgrades. She got the bolts, got a few potions. You can hopefully distribute those in the arena. We got the rings everyone really needed for now. Most rings. We can do one more ring for Talana, but she's so squishy and weak anyway. I'm not really prioritizing her survival too much. She hopefully gets to use some of the magic, but spellcasters, you know, they die pretty quick, so. As for our main characters here, these main three custom characters. Alright, party.
Yes?
I guess we've got most of what we need. I can check if there's a longsword +1 or something. Who has the swords?
Yes, a simple matter.
Seems like he has the swords, but like she actually does. It's weird.
You've lasted longer than anyone expected.
Okay.
Let's start taking bets.
Longsword +1.
If anyone nearby were man enough to speak to me,
There we go. Good enough. Longsword +1 for Imaloth. Good upgrade there. Alright. Got those explosions, a couple of them. He has the explosive ring. I haven't had the chance to use it. I should just use that right off the bat. I always forget to use charges on items and stuff like that, so I'm trying to get better at actually remembering I have them.
Sorted.
Maybe an extra speed potion or something for Mar here. Wait, oil is okay, way more expensive, so doesn't hurt to have some extra healing, whatever. I don't know. We'll save the last 100 for other essentials. All right, let's get in there for now, though.
What is it? A simple matter. What is it? A simple matter.
Moth not able to actually come to the door.
Yes, a simple matter.
Kind of silly, but it's how it goes.
Ah, you have returned! Are you ready to
1,
spill
2,
blood
2.
on the arena floor?
Might as well go for the full one. Let's see what we got here. Not playing nowhere near the hardest difficulty, so I can only imagine how actual challenging this is. The true meta, you probably have to use the original party unless you have a really good custom party. But good enough for now. So, all right, 7.5% drop frames. I believe that's the best I can get for right now. We stopped all installations for Back 4 Blood and Wi-Fi, you know, anchoring. So, apologize if it skips around a bit for you guys, but we'll at least get the main stuff, the main action. So, here we go. Let's check it out. See what we got.
For our next contest, I have brought you nature's own Avenger, a deadly druid with his own assemblage of amazing arachnids to annex, annul, abolish, and annihilate their adversaries.
Alright, druid actions, similar to the necromancer, just much more powerful, I'm assuming. Here we go. Let's do what we can, guys. Straight to the gladiator action on the gladiator. Yeah, there he is. He's surrounded by those.
You right.
So, Mar will use his ring. First off, yeah, the Victor. That's the drow ring there.
What?
Got the shield amulet I don't really need.
What is it?
But I guess we might as well use it, you know.
What?
She's got an explosion potion as well. I'm going to use that right now.
I am here.
Talia can cast some grease or blur or something. I just use a chromatic orb, that'll work. Spellbook, yeah. Alright, chromatic orb, straight to there. Takes a long time to cast, so we'll see how long these all take to activate. Hopefully not too long, but we shall see. Alright, here we go. Some cast for Talana. Takes 6 magic damage from that. Gonna try to blind them right away. After that, the rest are still activating their stuff. So. Alright, there's the explosion from the potion. She's in the web now. Mar is also stunned in the web.
What is it?
And Loth is the only real free character at the moment. Thought I had, yeah, that free gift or something that should help. I don't know. Let me just charge her with a Loth, I guess. Put that shield amulet on, might as well get some use from it. Alright, the rest they have... Oh, they're trying. They're stunned. So here we go. Alright, got it. Got the Druid. Spider. Try to keep... See, they really still make it challenging, not really at any difficulty, so I really feel it is well balanced. Yeah, Talana almost getting stung to death. Others are still stunned. See, Olaf can save her from, being incapacitated. Yeah, those explosions help. That was good. Oh, back in the web. Yeah, her Ring of Freedom really helping, whatever that is. That really helps quite a bit, so...
Again, you prove yourself a skilled swatter of insects. Perhaps what you need are some enemies with real backbone.
Yeah, celebrating full stream here, possibly more house sitting later this weekend, so I'll celebrate a few great stream days. And I kind of just gave a little pause to that 2 weeks of full-time streaming. Farewell to summer. Greetings to autumn 2021. But, you know, we'll get full stream days in when we can. Tomorrow, hopefully, will be. And we had a few good streams here sporadically today, so it's basically a full stream day, just broken up a little bit more than usual. But just celebrating with our red Targaryen blue. House of the Dragon hype. House of the Dragon next year is going to be an amazing year because House of the Dragon. Alright, here we go. That was pretty good. Straightforward, you know. Little druids. Specialized spellcasters, so not the most fearsome arena combatant. Alright, that'll be another 4,000 gold. 4,500 gold to spend.
Yes, a simple matter.
Imaloth's still trapped. There's nothing I can do about that, so.
Yes.
Alright, well, maybe need a +1 dagger
A simple
now
matter.
for
your
Oh, she
concern.
leveled up actually. Okay, we could do dagger, quarterstaff, dart, sling. I would like to give her a ranged weapon. She's not been great for, you know, dagger play. She has 30 HP for crying out loud, so only give her a sling. It's something new to use. We don't need 2 dart throwers really. I mean, it doesn't have any real advantage, but sling is good.
Certainly.
So let's go ahead and pick one of those up right now. Yeah, that one quick save upon entry, so should be fine for that. Alright, what do we got? Sling +1 barely costs anymore, so that's fine. Bullet +1, those cost more, so we'll get a good quiver full of those. Switch to her sling, just dagger for backup, I guess, but she should really use spells and stuff anyway. And she has that life protection, try to keep her alive a little bit more. We have that quick save, yep, good.
You rang. Right, what's this then?
Give him a dagger +1, he's the best backstabber, so. How about a dagger +1? Not here. Maybe here. Yeah, there we go. Dagger +1, pretty decent. He doesn't have any other magic ones, so thank you. Place that, and that explosive rings seem to be pretty good, so the same explosive guns. Alright, so that's +1 weapons for every party member now. So their base weapons are set. Could get some better armor now. Perhaps. What else we got for armor?
What is a simple matter?
Let me see here.
So, you have not yet been eviscerated. You may allay my disappointment by buying more of my fine clothing.
Devil's Moon, right? Similar to the cheetah. It was like other one like that, but it was very similar. That was pretty good, but not really necessary here. Senses of the cat. That's just for missile. This is missile, electrical, and cold, so they're very specific. I don't really know which one is best. General. Then we have slashing and crushing, and another missile here, so it's pretty specific. Rather just get something that covers a lot more areas. Then he has those other really expensive ones, like 6,000, so I don't worry about that for now. Alright, so no better like light armor. Not really. These are the good plate armors, so that'd be for Emeloth if we could afford them, but these are still heavy armors. Maybe he has more light armor.
You've made quite a splash in this area.
Yep.
And I'm not
Leather armor
even
plus
talking about
1.
some,
Or studded leather armor +1, which is, let's see, armor class 7 compared to armor class 6, so it's worth a little extra money, I have to say. So that'll be all my money. Whoop, I bought that by accident. Why do I keep buying stuff by accident? Oh my goodness. Cannot be equipped due to magical items. That's because the Ring of the freaking Prince is always the most annoying freaking thing. Alright, I'll get her a new ring. I don't care about that leather armor I wasted there. It's whatever. Alright, so any other cheap rings here? I kind of doubt that. But let me see. Jewelry is on him, yes. Got wands too. The wands would be decent for the mage, but I don't need it. Okay, so no real rings. There's literally 27,000 for invisibility as per the namesake spell. That's just self-invisibility. That's so much money for it, though. Really not too worth it, but I guess you can use it all the time. It's not a charge thing. Ring of spell turning. Ring of soon we got earlier. Alright, nothing too cheap there. Let's get some more potions, maybe. Elixir of health is always good. Just a healing potion. It's a better healing potion. Alright, fine. Some good backups for them all. Yeah, I'm going pretty minimalist here. It's just a regular first playthrough, so I'm not trying to go too hardcore or anything. And Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition, so 42 out of 129 achievements. So we almost have still another 100 achievements to get in these games. I'm sure there's a few in Black Pits here, but we'll be going to Baldur's Gate 3, I think, tonight, so.
What is it?
Alright.
A simple matter.
Saved. I think we're good enough. Yeah.
What? Yes?
Let's get on out. Carry on.
A simple matter.
Upgraded where I could. Alright, see what he has next for me.
The arena.
Let's take a look. Okay.
Oh, now I feel a little bad about this one. I've allowed your opponents into the arena early so they can put their special talents to use. Try not to trip as you traverse the tricky territory.
I'm guessing rogues, then yeah. That'll be backstabbing rogues. Here we go. Oh boy. Yep. Freaking Night Knives Thief. Never heard of that before, but Shadows. Night Knives Thieves. Okay.
What is it?
Stealth them ourselves.
What? Yes? What? A simple matter. Yes?
Take some speed, maybe. It's expensive, but I feel like this
Spit
is
it out.
a little tougher than average, you know. Failed shadows, crossbows.
Get over here.
What is it?
Drinking your speed
Yes?
potion. Should take them on. She's still lost.
I am here.
What?
Takes a long time to drink a potion. Honestly. Jeez. Alright,
You right.
this is taking a turn. Shadow
What is it? Yes?
Finally took her potion.
Your concern?
Okay. Switch to the sleeve.
What is it?
Help her up.
Go on then.
What? A simple matter. What?
Help her out a bit. She's in trouble.
Spit it out.
Yes?
There we go.
Such mean looking.
Traps. They actually put traps. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. Yeah, he did warn me. He said he let them in early. This will be interesting. She's not the best backstabber, but oh boy, nasty oil spill there. Oh, there we go. Backstab.
Yes?
Acid damage.
I must have aid. Yes?
Oh yeah, she is getting messed up. Quite a bit.
It is done.
Run away.
You
Mar,
right.
can you save a freaking mage? Protect you. Should give her the
I
healing
am
potions, but I don't know. I don't spend too. We're probably too far away for that transfer. Oh wait, that was good. She casts that armor. She can heal right away. Hopefully, but gotta sacrifice them sometimes, you know.
What is it? What is it?
That's supposed to be
Your concern?
potion. There we go, still alive.
Go on then.
What? What? Fine.
Another trap. Oh, yeah.
Spit it out.
That worked though. It killed him. Their trap blew them up. Oh, man.
I think you'd sidestep all those traps I instructed him to set up. You should be a pile of constituent body parts right now. Yeah, take your reward and choke on it.
Yep, Bailoff can a little ticked off. Whew, there we go. Alright, we get one more round of this for now. I highly doubt it's the finale, so yeah, there's at least a couple more big events. Alright, 5,000. We'll get one more round for now. I could definitely get more armor. Better weapons or something. Plate armor. Let me check it.
Fine. Yes?
Take a look here.
A simple matter.
Yeah, so these are still too much. Don't need the shields. Already have Gift of Peace. Another chance. Even them being pre-leveled up because I exported them is still a full challenge. I guess they just level up less than they would if you start them at level 1, but sorry. Alright, so what do we really need here? I need a ring for her still. That doesn't freaking disable because of armor class nonsense. That's always annoying. Okay, he's got the rings, the Mind Flayer guy. So, Ring of the Princes, we could do fire resistance, that's not much point. These other ones so expensive, so I guess I'll forego the ring for now.
Yes?
We've got at least amulets for everybody. Not everybody needs a ring too. We have a Victor is pretty good. She has Ring of the Princes, she has regards gifts. Maybe I can get 2 of the Victors. Kind of be a lot of explosive attacks, but it seems like better than average, right? Better than special arrows, maybe.
Such a menial
Am I
task.
not able to get another of those?
What?
Or
Fine.
does he have them or something? For some reason, I feel like somebody else has them. Not the one who has all the rings. That can't be right, though. I think you can buy multiple of them. Because I already bought some of these. Where's the Victor? Huh. Interesting. Oh, well. Elude me.
You're still alive. How? But Bailoff surely would have destroyed
I
you by
forgot to
now.
talk to these
Or-
other party people and the
perhaps he's
beholders. So
merely toying with you.
let me do that now, I guess. I've been forgetting to do that. Oh, she did substitute for
Well
Imhoff.
done.
Okay.
You have proven to be a most effective leader, especially considering what you have to work with.
Lana.
They cannot hold a candle to you, incomparable Thespia.
Thespia.
Silence your toady, Thespia. His mewling sickens me. Say the word, Thespia, and I'll snap Trico's neck for you.
Yeah, perhaps you'd prefer I make this ingratiating smile, like permanent and much wider.
Silence, all of you. The enemy is watching. Give them nothing.
Interesting. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool interaction there. I like it.
Are you prepared to face you as Bailoff grows more desperate to stem the tide of your rising popularity? He will resort to an overwhelming onslaught of endless spoils. You must cut off their reinforcements, lest you drown beneath their endless waves.
So the reinforcements, that would be like the ones summoning them or calling them, but I don't know what that would be. Unless it's some other undead type of version. Yeah, Bailoff capable of plenty of nasty trickery, so we shall see here. The Black Pit's pretty exciting. Alright, let me figure out where to spend this gold. We can get out for one more round.
What a simple matter. Fine.
We're on to Baldur's Gate 3 for the very first time. And back to Back for Blood. Sign stuff, beta indication, other things. Tomorrow, Darkest Dungeon, Dead by Daylight, perhaps some other interesting ones. We shall see. I'm glad I played more of these two because I'm really loving these again. I miss Baldur's Gate. I took too long to get back to it. I really missed it. So, oh yeah, I want to start Hellblade again because we need that 14th achievement or whatever that we didn't get the first time. The one achievement we didn't get, and it's just such an amazing, great story and dialogue and awesome game. So we'll be getting back to that Horror Tuesdays, so hopefully we'll find some time for that tomorrow as well. Hellblade is back in the mix, you know. Before Hellblade 2 comes out, we'll do another fair shake, fair playthrough. It'll be awesome. Alright, Bellow Blue Fingers. Who should I get more cloaks, I guess, yeah. Everybody needs cloaks, so. Alright. We've got Displacement. Pretty good generally. We don't have another one though. So yeah, I guess you can only buy some of these one time. We could also use some gloves, but they're pretty expensive. So these are just armor. Yeah, I'll get some gloves. Give that to our main leader here. She has the resistance to stuns and stuff now too with the ring at least. So pretty good. Hopefully that's the right move. I guess we shall see. Let's get back to it.
Fine. What is it? Fine.
Ah, you have returned!
We can also do more
Are you ready to spill
tier 2
blood in the
battles
arena
just
floor?
to prepare. We might have to do that, but we're at least gonna fight until we're defeated, and then just take a step back and readjust. But should be good. All right, let's see what he's got. Endless horde of enemies according to the beholder. Let's see if that's right now. To me, one of the there's like 3
Some of
different
my
ones.
friends have come to me to provide their concerns that I have been quality over quantity. Well, who says you can't have them both?
Oh boy.
Here, with 5 endless avenues to excitement, is my friend and yours, the Magnificent Ogre Mage.
So he's gonna summon a lot, I guess. Okay, should have got more scrolls on Talia and I thinking of it, but oh, he made little summoning portals. That's what it is. What the heck are these mysterious portals? I've never seen that before. Let me try to shoot those down real quick then.
What?
You
I am here.
Hopefully I can take care of them.
Yes.
Go on there.
Let's see how it goes. Yeah, we gotta knock them out. They're gonna keep spawning all these little minions, yeah? What the heck is that? Flesh golem, okay. Nasty stuff.
What is it? Yes.
Goodness. Here's the first one. I gotta get him off his back. That's for sure. Mar, don't get pummeled. Stop getting pummeled, you silly. What the heck is this? Quasit is casting. Oh my goodness. And that didn't do very much.
Your concern?
I guess they're resistant to magic. Air method.
What is it?
Jeez.
What?
Alright, she finally got that. Use all her cold arrows to do it. Kill that bastard. Oh, that slime is more dangerous than I thought. We're just gonna keep spawning, so
You right.
Mar getting messed up. He's almost got it though. Alright, I got the flesh golem, that's good. Oh boy.
Go on then.
Is that one still up? No, it's gone. Alright. Barely injured, which shows on their health and such. Oh, jeez.
Yes.
Get in there, Yeah.
Yes?
She needs to cast something else. We should have not gone in with blindness and stuff.
Yes.
Take care of him and we'll be a bit of a... Ah, we got him. Nice. He's dead. 36 damage from Emerald. Yeah, she had to do so.
What is it? You're not.
Support her. Alright, we use that ring now. laser shot there. Now we gotta kill the rest, I guess. Yep. Kill whatever's left.
What is it?
Aura on the wrist.
Yes?
Oh my goodness, what in the heck? There we go.
What?
All united.
What
You
is
right.
I am here.
Looking good.
You're
Get over here. Go on then. Get over here.
Come on. You can get him. You can get him. Go ahead.
What? Such menial tasks.
There it is. Good trickery.
Yes?
There it is.
Your concern?
We stand. Alright. Lovely stuff.
Such menial tasks.
Poison. Deafness. Where'd she get deaf from the mage? Something made her deaf. Weapon ineffective. Okay. These guys are getting against range. That's good to notice them. Western jellies. Teamwork, though. There we go. Awesome.
That was hardly fair, routing your rival's reinforcements.
But you have given me a great idea. What this contest needs are some fresh faces, and I have just the plan to provide some.
Alrighty, let's see here. Just the plan to provide some. Get the next party, probably. Big party there, red party. 4v6, but. Good for now, though. Alright. Staying alive, that's another 5,000 gold. Oh, man. We shall pick that up soon, guys.
What is it?
Awesome stuff. Alrighty, let us get to Baldur's Gate 3 for the first time right now. Very excited to try it out. 5% drop frame, so we have leveled out a good amount for that. We are looking great. Alright, Baldur's Gate 3, guys. It's debut for the Dragon's Roost. Long time coming. Looking forward to it. It's been out for a whole year already, so they're still doing some early access tweaks and improvements and patches, but we are ready to jump on in the action. Alrighty, let's check it out, guys. Make our first new character in that. We could do some style of Emeloth again, but we shall see, you know. I don't think the character even talks, really. Anyway, your own character. You just choose what they say, and you have these little roles and things, speech and such. I got Divinity Original Sin 2, Divinity Original Sin. These are their launchers here, so I guess, yeah, same company. Did some of that. They have Baldur's Gate 3 launcher. So I play, use Vulcan, use DX11. I don't know what the heck all that is, so Get started. Signing up for a Larian account. Has some like other initials set up here, so we'll get to that. Get start. I don't know what all this is, but it's just launching out. That's it. Okay, I was almost all tabbing there, but I didn't need to. All right, Larian Studios. So yeah, a bit different design than Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. They had a new company, other stuff take over. Quite different, but still the same awesome genres and D&D type of fun. Let's check it out and see what we can enjoy. Very exciting. Long time coming for this, and to enjoy it properly on my new lovely computer. That's the way it's meant to be. So very excited. Oh yeah, the vampire. Remember, he's in the story. I don't know if you can like make a vampire or not, but it's definitely some different styles than the first two games. Nothing really like that. So all these demons, mages. He's gonna get backstabbed by that skeleton. The succubuses, the thralls. I don't know. We'll see. Good stuff. Alright, Baldur's Gate 3. Sitting there. There's a Viking scene. Ancestors' legacy. Just down to the depths of the caverns. Okay, let's see. Early access. The road ahead will be bumpy in places as we continue development and incorporate your feedback. Expect mystery, adventure, and a known quantity of bugs and bugbears along the way. Thank you for traveling with us. So it's been in early access a year now. They should have smoothed out most of the main issue. Alright, create profile. Profile, store your name, campaigns, game save, and mods, settings. Make sure it's on the cloud save just in case, but it should be fine. Alright, multiplayer later. We'll start with our new game. Single player greatest. I have to allow it in Windows Defender. Real quick. Alright, there we go. What is this? Cthulhu Cult. Yeah, we'll get to our Lovecraft tomorrow. I meant to mention after Jurassic Park, we'll have some good, interesting stories for Lovecraft right tomorrow, so that'll be fun. Looks pretty similar here, whatever. Drow Shrine or Demon Shrine. Yep, never seen any of this before, so it's pretty cool. New stuff, new cinematics. Orcs. The races, you have to learn all these new races that I don't even really have in Baldur's Gate 1, so. Let's see, Baldur's Gate 2 will come in a good time, but let's go straight to 3 for now, because it is current, it is awesome. I'm excited to play it for a long time. Swimming tadpoles. What in the world is this? I'm not gonna risk all tabbing or anything right now. Oh, feeding her the worm. Or putting the worm on. Eyeball, okay. That's not nasty at all. Alien, Cthulhu, Mind Flayer, Octopus, Squid. Yeah, he's basically like a squid. Yeah, first person parasite. Alien demon. Wow. Okay then, that was interesting. Yeah. Who are you? Alright, to our class creation. I just need to make one more Steam announcement for the stream, because I forget to just post it in the group. I want to do more thing. We have a 500 member celebration back in June. It's time to post a little more for entering the Dragon's Roost Medieval Fantasy Monday. Other fun. Yep, 500 members back in June. It's time to make another announcement. Little announcement there. Enter the Dragon's Roost. Okay. There we go. Good post there, good enough for now. Targaryen dynasty, great fun. Okay then. We got that weird launch. Larry launches a Larry launch one. Leisure suit Larry. Not quite. Alright, here we go. Who shall we make first? Got our abilities. It's just randomized, I guess. Venture forth, not yet. Come on. Got our origins. Customs. Not available in early access yet. These are some other origins of some kind. There's no randomized button so far, I think. So let's see. What have we got here? We've got elves, tieflings, the demon sides, drows, the dark elf, humans, Githyanki, peerless warriors from the astral plane, known for their legendary silver blades and red dragon mounts. Well, that sounds good already, huh? They seek the total destruction of mind flayers, whose ancient empire enslaved the Githyanki for millennia. So that's pretty much the one we just saw in the introduction there. And they are the most similar to orcs, I guess, but they're not quite orcs. Then we have dwarves. Gold dwarves are known for their confidence and keen intuition. This is awesome so far, a lot of good customization. The culture of their deep kingdoms values family, ritual, and fine craftsmanship. I don't know if we'll do male or female this start. We have our Emeloth for the main one, but doesn't mean we have to keep her for this. She was human, so I don't know. It's kind of boring for me to already start human. I never do that to start off with. I always do the more interesting races and beast races and such. I like orcs and such a lot too, so let's see. Let's see, sub-race here. We got drow half-elf, wood half-elf, or high half-elf. That's pretty cool. Very specific things. A touch of the Feywild, most half-drow, like their wood elf parent. Alright, so it's high elf catnip. No, cantrip. I don't know what the heck any of these abilities are. There'll be a lot of different things here, but those are just like starting abilities. Race features, we can adjust that a little bit. Fey ancestry, sub-race traits. So yeah, I don't really need a half-elf, but let's see, the halfling, look at those little guy. Of course, dwarves and halflings, there's subtle distinctions, but Lightfoot halflings are stealthy but social, traveling all over Faerun to make names for themselves. So not quite like Lord of the Rings style hobbits, but there we go. I used to play halflings a lot when I played Baldur's Gate on the original CDs. I would just have like a thief or something, but let's see, Lightfoot halfling, strong heart halfling. That's their strong heart is legends say dwarven blood gave strong hearts their hardiness, resistant to poison and wellsprings of endurance. These halflings easily hold their own. So that's a little stronger one, maybe worse thief than the Lightfoot, yeah. Lucky, brave, dexterity, we cannot adjust these stats like we could with this other one for some reason. There's a lot of differences there. And these are, I don't know what tab is, but there's other stuff here. These are just clerics by default, so we'll see what it says. Alright, well I'm thinking obviously for the red dragon mounts, the Githyanki, yeah, even the males look pretty awesome, so we'll probably do a male Githyanki to start here. Well, let's read a little others. We got the High Elves, what else? This one does not have the drow, because that's separate. Alright, let's read a little bit more. Of the Tieflings, we got Asmodeus Tieflings, and Zariel Tieflings, and Mephistopheles Tieflings. Wow, no lack of those. So, Bountinous, I'll probably make one of those next or something, but I think the Githyankis are holding my sway a little bit more for here. So, Bountinous, the deepest layer of the hells. These tieflings inherit the ability to wield fire and darkness from the archdevil Asmodeus' infernal bloodline. Wow, that's pretty royal legacy I've got there. Hellish resistance, dark vision, racial speed, intelligence, charisma, cantrips. just their racial ability or something. Zariel tieflings from Zariel's bloodline are empowered with martial strength and can channel searing flame to punish their enemies. So a little different there. I don't notice too much difference right off the bat, but there's something different about them. I don't know. And then Mephistopheles, descended from the archdevil Mephistopheles, these tieflings are gifted with a particular affinity for arcane magic. So you've got Mage Hand instead of Thaumaturgy. So those are just better mage tieflings, I guess. You have drows, humans, the most common face to see in Faerun. Humans are known for their tenacity, creativity, endless capacity for growth. Gold dwarfs, shield dwarves, some different too. Wow, lots of interesting things here, guys. We could go for a long time figuring out what we want here, but I think the Githyanki has my heart to start because red dragon mounts. How can you not love that? These red dragon mounts in their astral plane, which they probably won't get in this game, but still, it's where they come from. Alright, so we can customize them a bit. Let's start with appearance, I guess.
Where to next?
What was that? Let's hope.
Hells.
Be wary.
It's opened.
More of those wretched things.
It goes back and forth between male and female for some reason.
There's magic.
Where to next? Hells. Be wary. It's opened.
That's good for now, I guess.
I wonder what's back there.
Freaking heads, we don't need to get too fancy. Oh boy! Well, we do want our red dragon Githyanki. So we make him red, I guess. Oh my goodness, this is a lot. Let's see more specific. These are their natural ones, but yeah, we can go different ones there. Ruby, oh my goodness. Hairstyles. What would be a good dragon knight? Githyanki for us today from the astral plane. We have Nemesis of Mind Flayers. Well, I don't mind fighting some Mind Flayers. They like long hair, apparently. A little bit too neat. Baldy there. Let's see here. Wow, nice zooms in there. Still the male, right? Just making sure. Wow, that totally changes everything if you got a female. Basically just had its own slot in. Alright. Gotta be happy with my first character, you know. Can't do hair color. Oh, there we go. I don't know. Color hair, what do you have? Gold blonde, auburn, blonde, brown. Red, blue, purple, green, lime. Black, red, that's kind of interesting. Let's go darker. Brown, I guess. Alright. Still trying to find one I don't hate, you know. Hair 31 here. Oh my goodness. That one's kind of bald. I'll start a hair one. Don't get too crazy with it. Alright, let me set back to 30. Yeah, I guess that's decent enough. Whatever, it doesn't have to be totally perfect. Anything. Tattoos, where do those even go? Oh, is that his face tattoo? Nah, I got these one. Alright, red for that. The Skyrim tattoo. Tattoo intensity. That tattoo intensity. Interesting nose, ears. Different than the humans. Tattoo. That's like 3 extra colors. Oh, that's funny. Alright, don't think he needs makeup. Let me see. Some makeup guy. It'll look pretty after all. Yeah, pretty, I guess. Fine, I'll do a little makeup. Alright. Do not venture forth. That's literally only the origin and the... Oh. Character name. Yeah, we need the character name. Oh, no, I usually use the, like, character generators or something, but... the ones that sound good to me. Is there no way to get him stockier? He has to be that skinny. Oh, no body type. Alright. We could just do Ace for the first one. It wouldn't really fit in the Fantasy Realm, so... let me see. Good name for him would be... Jigglypuff. Dragon of the Devil, Dracul. Thinking of a few names here real quick. There's Orthus before, I have no idea. Dragon the Wolf. Thinking of a few here. Rex is king. Oh, this is a good new one. Let's try that. Abeloth. Good enough for now. Alright, let's read about the backgrounds here. I will tell you what it is since you can't see it over the webcam. We've got Acolyte. You have spent your life in service to a temple, learning sacred rites and providing sacrifices to the god or gods you worship. Serving the gods and discovering their sacred works will guide you to greatness. Background features, we have insight and religion proficiency. Charlatan, we have here an expert in manipulation, prone to exaggeration, more than happy to profit from it. Bending the truth and turning allies against each other will lead to great success down the road. Great success. Deception proficiency and sleight of hand. So that's just the bonuses that I don't actually know what to do. Criminal, you have a history of breaking the law and survive by leveraging less than legal connections. Profiting from criminal enterprises will lead to great opportunities in the future. Deception and stealth. Entertainer, you live to sway and subvert your audience, engaging common crowds and high society alike. Preserving art and bringing joy to the hapless and downtrodden. Heightens your charismatic aura. Well, that would be the most accurate for me, but acrobatics and performance proficiency. Folk hero. You're a champion of the common people, challenging tyrants and monsters to protect the helpless. Saving innocents in imminent danger will make your legend grow. It's similar to the Cavalier and such. Animal handling proficiency and survival proficiency. Or how much survival we need, we'll see. Guild artisan. Your skill in a particular craft has earned you membership in a mercantile guild, offering privileges and protection while engaging in your art. Repairing and discovering rare crafts will bring new inspiration, insight, and persuasion. Noble, you were raised in a family among the social elite, accustomed to power and privilege. Accumulating renown, power, and loyalty will raise your status. History and persuasion proficiency. Outlander, you grew up in the wilds, learning to survive far from the comforts of civilization. Surviving unusual hazards of the wild will enhance your prowess and understanding. Athletics and survival proficiency. Sage, you are curious and well-read, with an unending thirst for knowledge. Learning about rare lore of the world will inspire you to put this knowledge to greater purpose. Pretty close to like Wasteland 3, all these different customizations and backgrounds and quirks and stuff. Arcane proficiency and history proficiency. Soldier, you are well trained in battle, field tactics, and combat, having served in a militia, mercenary company, or officer corps. Show smart, tactic, and bravery on the battlefield to enhance your prowess, athletics, and intimidation. Urchin, after surviving a poor and bleak childhood, you know how to make the most out of very little. Using your street smarts, bolster your spirit for the journey ahead. Sleight of hand and stealth, so similar to others. Back to Acolyte. Alright, well, I think I have to do the most accurate entertainer for now. Acrobatics and performance, we'll see how those come into play. Got it. We got cantrips, which are these. That's my origin then. We got his name, Abeloth, Githyanki, and we gotta go to class next. Subclass, life domain. Where the heck? Okay. And deity, Loth. Alright, we've got clerics, druids, similar to WoW now. Fighter. Yeah, the cleric is the default. Fighter, ranger, rogue, ranger and rogue, warlock, his little dagger hanging off his belt, and wizard. Alright, it's between me, I think, rogue, probably not ranger for him. Between rogue and fighter, kind of my favorite style, so fighter pretty straightforward to begin, but I don't know. Rogue will be fun, so let me see. Fighters have mastered the art of combat, wielding weapons and with unmatched skill and wearing armor like a second skin. Got passives. Rogue with stealth, skill, and uncanny reflexes. A rogue's versatility lets them get the upper hand in almost any situation. Yeah, I think I'd rather do the rogue like Drow or something for this Abeloth. Githyanki, it does make sense to be a full more Dragon Knight, so. Dueling, great weapon fighting, protection, 2-weapon style fighting style. Oh, let's read about it, yeah. Range weapon, armor class. When you're wielding a melee weapon in one hand and no weapon in the other, you gain 2+ bonus to damage rolls with that weapon, increasing your chance to do heavy damage. When you roll into a damage die for an attack with a 2-handed melee weapon, that die is re-rolled once. When you have a shield, impose disadvantage on an enemy who attacks one of your allies. When you are within 1.5 meters, you must be able to see the enemy. That's pretty specific with a shield. 2-weapon fighting style. When you make an offhand attack, you can add your ability modifier to the damage of the attack. So it's a great weapon. It starts with the same gear in the case, looks like, but I'm not so sure here. Dragon Knight is astral plane and like the hellish tieflings, so maybe a shield would be fun. I don't know. Could try that out maybe. Dragon Knights defend after all. Maximum hit points per level. Could be like a tiefling, be more offensive, but this one would be more defensive. Armor class, yeah. I don't want to be limited to a shield though, so maybe defense would be better. 1+ bonus to armor class while wearing armor. Yeah, he's always going to be wearing armor, so. Alright, class features, actions. Good for the fighter for now, I guess. Yep, start off with the fighter, do rogue other ones later. So my abilities, proficiencies, skills. Change that, I guess, but inherited from background. Proficiency bonus 2. Okay then. I guess we'll leave that as it is. I can't tell if we need to change anything or not, so should be fine to start. We're not trying to be too hardcore here. Alright, assign ability points, already done. Intelligence. Usually do lower, so wisdom though, something else entirely. Charisma is good. Why did I have negative there? Use recommended to be something else. Plenty of strength, get a dexterity, charisma. Yep, take a little from intelligence, wisdom, get charisma. That works. Alright.
10, dream of at night.
What the heck is all this? That's something else entirely? What the heck was that? Who do you dream of? This is something completely different, apparently. Oh my goodness. What is this? I don't understand what that is. Oh well. I'll be back in a second. The beautiful singing interlude. Alright, so I have no idea what this is, but I guess it's something extra to do. So, who do you dream of? Who attracts you? Well, I should probably do one of my same race, but I guess we could do a half-elf or something. I will not be gay for this playthrough.
More of those
There's magic keeping this. What was that?
I'm not gonna worry too much about whatever this weird dream state is. I really do not care. Alright. So whatever that was, we got it, I guess. Got it? Who do I dream of? My dream character. Alright. I don't know what Xing it would do, so let's not exit. Let's venture forth. We do not want to exit. That could just close it. It could just disregard all our changes so far. Waste the last half hour of customization. So, venture forth. We should be good to go for now. Good enough. Yeah. And I will not be exiting that out. I will resist the urge to exit out. Let's go. Okay. Venture forth. Venture forth! Finally, Baldur's Gate 3. There the bastard is. I guess I was in there. Customized. I don't know. Besides my fellow I'll have to look at the race a lot to remember what it is, but my fellow orc-style Dragon Knight. We shall see. Oh, a big tentacle squid, flying squid ship. Oh boy, here we go. Invading the city, kingdoms, Faerun. Yep, he's like, oh, don't see that every day. Oh boy. Gotta ring the bell if you get the chance. Oh, no, not gonna get the chance. No warning bell for you. Oh, straight to Ash. Oh, actually. Yeah. Consumes them for the... Wow, this is quite different. Quite different. Oh, there we go. Dragon allies, dragon reinforcement. Yep, I'm seeing. Weaklings out. Some big mounts already. Very nice. There's our dragons to the rescue. Slap the dragon. Oh, there you go. Skydiving into the water. Oh, got him into. That's a good dragon. That Century Age of Ashes will be out pretty soon. That'll be another great one. Oh yeah, don't we actually fight in here? Shit, I've seen some areas here. Or maybe that's just the introduction. Guess we'll see. Let's get out of here somehow. Oh, teleporting stream. Fancy tricks they got there. Dragons on the pursuit. Lovely dragons. Our race. I forgot how to pronounce it, of course. Lovely dragons, lovely time. Pretty cool. Should have all this gate there. Oh, there she is. Let's get out. Title. Dragon sees that. Scoop 3. Yes. There's the dragon fire. Absolutely. Pretty exciting. Dragon, good enough. Alright, a red dragon introduction. Great for our Dragon's Roost theme. Time to get out of here. Break from your pod. My fellow race. Yeah. How about that, guys? Set for the Dragon Knight mod. Oh boy. Here they come. Demons, imps. Wow. Big dragon introduction of the imps there. Oh boy. Well, I get to save the character at least. Oh man, we'll pick this up early tomorrow, I hope, or Tuesday. Magnificent, terrific Tuesday. Well, that's pretty cool. Cinematic so far, nothing else. The character, I think you have to escape the ship. Yep, that's the beginning. Where are you at? On the ground. Escape the Nautilord. Finally free.
Finally free. I must find my kid.
Mind flares, parasite. So the character. Wow, very nice camera view so far. Let's save. Nautilord in hell. Alright then. Perfect save there and normal. Keep it on normal for now. It's completely different than Baldur's Gate anyway. Alright, that is saved. 2206. Let us pick it up shortly tomorrow, guys. We had a good introduction there. As soon as I find out how to equip the game. Alright, lovely stuff for Baldur's Gate 3 there. Very awesome. Very excited. to be moving forward. We'll do some single player for now, get to some co-op down the line. We'll get in our little dragon raid for now, guys. Fun red dragons there, the good class. He'll find his kin, continue the rest. And we'll be back to it shortly for a full day tomorrow, Tuesday. Excellent stuff. And now for now, though, I will see you then, guys. Dragon Raid. Hope to have some good chatters and fun stuff for tomorrow. Terrific Tuesday. I will catch you then, guys. Good night for now. Get in a raid. Thank you to any lurkers out there. And I'll catch you in a bit. Night for now, guys. We'll be back to it shortly for a full day tomorrow, Tuesday. Excellent stuff. And now for now, though, I will see you then, guys. Dragon Raid. Hope to have some good chatters and fun stuff for tomorrow. Terrific Tuesday. I will catch you then, guys. Good night for now. Get in a raid. Thank you to any lurkers out there. And I'll catch you in a bit. Night for now, guys. We'll be back to it shortly for a full day tomorrow, Tuesday.
Ferris Bueller, you're my hero.
Alright, you can have it. What the hell is that? Can't stand